it's Erin. Let's talk about building a bigger booty. There's so much information out there. Which exercises do you choose and how do you program them into your workouts? I think the best way to plan things out is to first understand the basic anatomy of the glutes and then understand their functions. And we'll go over a little bit of that here, and then I'll show you my 6 favorite exercises. So you've got 3 muscles of the glutes: gluteus maximus, medius, and minimus. Maximus is the largest muscle. Medius and minimus are kind of at the top and sides of the glutes. So the 3 or 4 basic functions that the glutes perform are hip extension. So this is anything where you're getting up from a chair, or if you're walking forward, or if you're bending down to pick something up and standing back up again. All 3 muscles help with stabilization. You've got external rotation. So if you're standing and you start to take a step to the side and you rotate your foot out, that's a lot of gluteus maximus. You've got abduction. So anytime you're taking a step to the side, and any single leg exercises are going to also recruit the glutes. So knowing that, we have to plan our movements to really focus on hip extension, rotation, stabilization, and abduction. And these exercises are going to do all of that. So let's get to the gym and let's get into this workout. The first exercise is a kneeling good morning. The Smith machine is awesome for this. It allows extra stabilization so you can really focus on just using your glutes to raise and lower the weight. So I've got my knees shoulder width apart. I'm on a yoga mat, and my knees are about a foot behind the bar. So this changes the weight distribution slightly and allows you to, on the way up, think about pushing your shoulders up and into the bar. This is going to help you engage your glutes. And mid-rep, add a little pause and really squeeze your glutes at the bottom and think about just lifting the bar with just your glutes. If you haven't done this exercise before, I suggest starting with no weight at all. I know the bar is only 10 or 15 pounds, but the act of going through and activating your glutes is going to help you when you start adding weight. There's no sense in going heavy if your glutes are not doing the work, because they're not going to grow. So don't skip this step. I've got my chin tucked. This helps keep the back flat. As soon as you start looking up, the back is going to arch, and it's not going to be as easy to maintain that mind-muscle connection. So partial reps here. I'm not going to full extension, and that's simply because once you get the connection with the glutes, it's easier to maintain it if you keep constant tension on the muscle. The next exercise is a banded side step, and I know you've seen this before. Everyone does these, and for good reason. So this is the motion of abduction, and abduction is going to work glute medius and minimus, which is that shelf area. So this rounds the glutes out really, really nicely. You want to get into like a quarter to half squat stance, and try not to use momentum. Try to use your abductors, your medial and minimus, to do all the work. And 3 sets of 20. I like to do them as a superset, so I'll just throw these in between exercises. Next exercise is a wider stance goblet squat. And I've got about 35 pounds here, and I'm going to do 4 sets of 12 to 15 reps. Just like with the good mornings, I'm utilizing a mid-rep pause, and at the bottom or at mid-rep, I think about pushing all of my weight into my heels. And pushing weight into the heels and going a little bit below parallel is going to help really engage the glutes. And holding the dumbbell in this way helps engage the glutes also. So you're holding the dumbbell close to you, almost in like a clean grip, right next to your collarbone. So you have a pause mid-rep and really think about squeezing on the way up. And again, I'm not going full range of motion. I'm keeping that constant tension on the muscle. I'm trying to really just burn them out. So you'll see mid-rep pause and squeeze on the way up. And choose a dumbbell that's light to start with, and then you can always go heavier. So the goal here is just do it until it burns, but you don't necessarily have to go super heavy. The next exercise is the hip abduction machine. So on this exercise, I'm sure you've seen several different variations. A lot of times people will lean forward or they'll sit on it backwards. This variation is my absolute favorite for building that shelf, glute, medius, and minimus. So I scoot my butt forward on the mat and I extend my legs out as far as I can and I point my toes down. And I also try to round the back just a little bit. And this is going to help hit, it's going to hit gluteus maximus also. But again, with that mid-rep pause, and I think I'm doing 50 or 60 pounds here, I think go for 3 sets of 20 to 25 reps. So try it. Try to lean back a little bit, extend your legs as far as they can go, point those toes down, rotate that pelvis forward, and it's gonna feel super, super hard. I can usually do the whole stack when I'm sitting up straight, but I can only do like 50 or 60 pounds when I'm doing it this way. And when it starts to hurt, do 5 more reps. The next exercise is a banded cable squat. So I have placed a high tension band just below the knees. I'm gonna put at least my body weight on that stack there. That's important because you're gonna lean against that weight. So you're balancing against the weight, you wanna go heavy. So it's gonna allow you to lean back. And the bands are gonna help get a little bit of that external rotation. So we are working all parts of the glutes here. And you'll notice I'm keeping the back flat, keeping my shoulders back, and rather than a normal squat where you would stand up, I'm thinking about pushing through the heels and pushing up and back. So you're gonna push up and back in 4 sets here of 10 to 12 reps. And I love the bands because as you get tired, there's a tendency for the knees to come in just a little bit, and the bands remind you to push against them. The next exercise is a cable leg raise. This is great, and another abduction exercise. And here, so my left leg is my weaker leg. I want you to start with the weaker side first and think about keeping your body as tall as possible. So I see a lot of people leaning down with this, and I like to think about bringing my leading with the heel almost. So you're bringing your legs straight out, but keep your toes pointing inward just a little bit. And this slight change is going to really help you engage every part of your glutes. So 3 sets here of 15 to 20 reps. So you're going to do quite a bit of volume here. And as you can see, I'm not doing a ton of weight. It starts to get really hard. This is another great exercise for building the upper part of the glutes. So if you want that shelf, if you want the curves as you're looking at yourself straight on, this is a great exercise for that. And you can also do this exercise at home if you've got resistance bands and you don't want to take up the cables. But I really do love the cables here, and this is a great finisher exercise. Just make sure you're lifting your leg the same on both sides. So let your weak side dictate the number of reps that you can do on your stronger side, and keep your core nice and tight. Plan to train your glutes at least 4 times a week and up to 6 times a week. This can be 2 heavy sessions and 2 to 4 lighter activation sessions. So the first one, heavier, you're gonna do lots of weight, low reps. You're primarily targeting your fast twitch muscles. And then the other 2 to 4 times a week is body weight, lots of reps. These are exercises you can do at home, like your frog pumps, your leg lifts, anything to wake those glutes up. Keep in mind that most of us have desk jobs or we sit most of the day. Go to the gym, you get on the treadmill, the belt is doing a lot of the work for you. So if a muscle isn't activated all the time, it becomes lazy. Lazy muscles have a tendency to sag or be flat. We want to wake the glutes up, activate them on a regular basis. So in everyday life, they're activated and you're working on that mind-muscle connection and growing them. If you like this video, please subscribe. And don't forget to click that little bell. You'll be the first to know when new videos come out. Thanks for watching. Until next time, train those glutes, y'all.